Good afternoon, welcome back to Real Life Adventures. So I got something pretty exciting today to show y'all. I've just received my package of LoopAlien gear. So I picked up a couple different things from them. I picked up the RCA, the micro hook, and the micro GLT. All three of them are in titanium. For the micro GLTs, I actually picked up two of them. So those are going to go on the guy lines for the tarp is where they're going to go to. Been doing a lot of research online about different hooks, different tie outs, different guy line pieces, all of the different things for setting up a tarp and a ridge line, everything like that. So as you know, in one of my previous videos, I got really into making a lot of soft shackles, and I just pressing them onto the line, and I've been utilizing them like that. However, in one of my feeds, I ran across some LoopAlien gear, and I really got intrigued by the way of its design and how fast that it looks that you can use it. So I picked up a couple different pieces here, and I'm going to utilize these on the existing ridge line that I have. I'm going to make a couple modifications to it, which I'm going to show you a few things that I'm going to have to do, and then I'm going to attach a couple of the hooks onto my shock cord that's on the tarp itself, and I'm going to take the soft shackles that I have pressing on to two of these for my tent stakes. I'm going to take these off, and then I'm going to test it and see just how fast the hook is in comparison to the soft shackles, and then how much I like it as well. I feel like I got to say this each time that I add a piece of gear or do something. Not concerned with weight. That's not a concern of mine at all. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, big dude. I mean, just my tarp alone is like 2.5 pounds or something like that. So it doesn't bother me to carry the extra weight. That extra weight doesn't bother me at all. What I want is I want speed, convenience, comfort. Those are the things that I want. I'm not concerned with the weight. I'm like an old pack mule, pick things up, put things down. So once again, not concerned with that at all. So some of you will be making comments, oh, well, what about this weight? What about that weight? I don't care about weight. Not a huge thing for me. All right, mine is speed, convenience, comfort. Those are the things that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the ridge line. I have to make a couple adjustments. I have to cut one end of it off. Then I'm going to put the micro hook on there. And then I'm going to get it all set up out back. I'm going to switch out a couple of these with the hooks that are going on them as well. Get everything set up and see how we like it. All right, so let's get that started. Here's my ridge line that I have. I got to take the end of it off. Let's take a look at this gear. Oh my goodness, look at the size of those. Come on, focus camera. Those are crazy small. Look at the size of that micro hook. Holy cow. Look at this micro hook right here. That is so tiny. Look at it in comparison to my thumbnail. That's crazy. And then these actually came with shock cord already on them. I have my own shock cord, so I'm just going to use that. Yeah, mine's a little bit more. Mine's a little more robust as well. Here's the first micro hook on there, and it is micro. Now let's do this side. Alright, got the second one on there. Now we're going to move on to the ridge line. First, on this end here, where the micro hook is going to be, I have to take this line off, and then I'm going to cut it here, and I'm going to splice the micro line onto it. Or, not micro line, but the micro hook. I'm going to splice that onto the line. So first, this soft shackle that was on the end can actually come, or not soft shackle, but this one was just a continuous loop that I had pressed on. So this one can come off because it's going to be replaced by that. It'll be on there. So this one will no longer be there. These other two are the ones that actually tighten the tarp. I got two soft shackles that are pressing onto the line that tighten up the tarp. I will end up changing those out. If I like the hooks and I like the way everything's going, I will get more of the Hold on, let me see what the name of those were again. Actually, I got the paperwork right here. The GLTs, the GLT micro hooks. I will get 6 more of those to complete out all the rest of the tie outs on my tarp, and then I will switch out the soft shackles that are on this line with just continuous loops, and that will be the way that I attach it. And the reason is because on my tarp I have, it's a 13-foot ridgeline, and then it's 10 foot wide. All right, so, well, 10 foot long, 13 feet wide, whichever way you want to measure, it doesn't matter. So it's got a 13-foot ridgeline. However, if I happen to get into an area to where the trees are closer and I can't use it for the full 13 feet, then I can just take my tarp and I can turn it and I can just go 10 feet this way and 13 feet this way. But if I do that, I need to have connection points. That's the reason I'm going to put one of those micro GLTs on every single one of the connection points that I have, so that I can utilize it in any configuration that I want. That's if I like them. We'll see in a few minutes. Let me get out my handy dandy splicing kit here. So, notice I was just breathing hard there. I don't know about the rest of you. Notice that whenever you're doing things, you really concentrate and focus on. Just make some weird noises from time to time. I don't know if you do or not, but I definitely notice that I do. Whenever I go back and I'm editing the film or anything, or the footage, I notice that I tend to make some weird noises, breathe weird, grunt and groan at different times. I don't know, I kind of find it funny that when you're doing it and you're in the moment, you don't notice it, but then whenever you go back and you do the editing of the video, you're like, oh wow, you know, I'm making all kinds of crazy noises that I don't need to be making. So it's kind of weird. Little things you notice whenever you're doing editing. So, I'm about to lock this loop in place here. Now it's locked in place. Now I just need to bury this. Bury it all the way inside. Come back over. And now, micro hook spliced on. There you have it. That thing is so tiny. I mean, that is crazy. That is crazy, crazy tiny. Alright, so now I need to put those soft shackles back on the line, because this is still what I'm using for right now. Final piece is the RCA. This through the big hole, right? Then goes through the medium hole, just like that. Now this will stay attached to the line, and this will be what tightens it all up, and I'll show you that out there. Alright, so 2 of the 10 stakes, I'm going to take off the soft shackle that I have pressing on. I'm going to take these off of 2 of the tent stakes, so that these 2 tent stakes will be the ones that go to the small hooks, to the micro hook. I'll put these 2 in the pocket. I'll bring the rest of them with me. Back in here. Alright, let's go get this thing set up. Alright, so I'm finally getting out here to finish getting the tarp set up with the new LoopAlien gear that I put on it. Whenever I initially made the video in the garage the other day and I came out to set it all up, it was just crazy when it pulled a stake out of the ground. You can see the whole tarp flopping back. The really worst part though was the audio. I mean, I got the tarp staked out, so it was holding, everything was fine, but the problem was the audio. I mean, it was just crazy windy, so I'm going to post that right here so you can hear it. And that's what it sounded like the entire time. So I just had to scrap all of that, and I just figured I'd wait. It took me 2 more days to wait it out. The wind is finally gone, so now I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up to show you how that new LoopAlien gear works. So I got the stakes here, set those down. Got the tarp. I'm going to get the continuous ridgeline put out first. It's got all that gear on it. Here's one piece. Here's that micro hook, so we're going to go get that all set up, see what it looks like, see how we like it. I can tell you just from setting up in the wind the other day, I actually really like the gear. Everything held. Like I said, the wind blew so hard when I only had one stake in the tarp itself, it actually pulled the stake out of the ground. So it was blowing pretty hard, but once I got all the stakes out, got everything put in, it held perfectly, had no issues whatsoever, other than for video purposes. You couldn't hear anything. It was just too loud with the wind. Let's get it done. Alright, for this piece here, just take this, slide it to wherever you need it to be. Once you get it in position to where you want it from the tree and from the end of your tarp here, just pull this little section right here out, give it a twist. Let me try to get a different angle for you. Pull this little section right here out, give it a little twist, put it right back over. All right. So, see, you slide this back and forth, pull it out, twist, over, it's done. Now bring this around, come in the back side of the loop here, pull to get that mechanical advantage, bring it up around the front here, lock it in. That's all you got. So you got this here, pull this out, twist, loop around, that locks the bite in. Move around behind, pull tight, bring it underneath, lock it in. It's not going anywhere. Now to put the tarp up. Still using soft shackles up here. I might end up changing these out for some of the hooks from LoopAlien. I'm not for sure yet. I got to see how I like everything first. And now we're going to put out 2 of the stakes, and then I also brought out my trekking poles, and I'm going to use those to set it up as a porch, and then I'm going to bring it back down, such as if there's a heavy weather coming in or something like that, so I need to change the angle of the tarp. So bring out this corner. Here. Snug this down around the back side and lock it in just like that. Alright, so I got a couple of my trekking poles here. Now I'm going to adjust the angle of this to go off the trekking poles, kind of raise this up and make a little bit of a front porch. Loosen that up. Trekking pole in the webbing. Back down and around. Same thing, loosen this up right here. Raise it up. Place the trekking pole in the webbing. Lock it back in. There you have it. Makes it pretty simple to set up. Everything's holding very nicely. Don't have any problems. I like it. LoopAlien definitely came through on this one. Now that I've tested this out and I see that I actually like it, I'm going to go out and I'm going to purchase a few more hooks to put on all the different tie out points on my tarp. I actually think I'm going to switch this up a little bit, and I'm going to switch to the little tie out hook here. This one has no hook on it. They have a separate one that has a secondary hook, so there's a hook on both ends. One where your line clips into, the other one where it'll stay affixed to your guy line, and all you do is you just take it and you clip it onto your shock cord that's on the tarp itself. So I actually think I'm going to order those instead, because then it'll all be attached to the guy line at all times. It doesn't take up much more room, so it can go in a pouch fine. And then all I got to do is just pull that up, clip it right into the section on the tarp, slide it down, it's perfect. This, it's already affixed to the tarp, but the one thing that I don't like about this is, since it's on the tarp at all times, I have to take the other end, which is the guy line piece out here. I've got to pass it through the hole, and then I got to start pulling this out. So as I've said in a previous video, long day, nighttime, cold, your hands are wet, whatever the case may be, is that dexterity to get that through the hole each time, that might become problematic out there. That might give me some issues. So instead of having to pass it through that hole each and every time with the guy line, I'm just going to buy the ones that this stays affixed to the guy lines at all time, and then all I got to do is just grab the piece and literally just clip it onto the bottom right here, and it'll be set. I think that'll be a much better way to go if it's already just affixed to the guy line itself and I don't have to worry about it. And then you just pull it down just like this one, bring it up around, lock it in, and you're done. Like I said, the only difference is this one's affixed to the shock cord right here. The other one has a hook on it, so all you do is just hook it onto it. I think those would be better. So I'll put one all the way around the whole thing and we'll be set. As always, thank you all very much for watching. If you would, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take it easy.